Welcome to Surf Dudes with Attitude, a podcast about California dreams. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Did George freeze? Oh, we still got George.
No, it's all you. You're the other host.
I'm doing great. You know, I'm the co-host, James, and I'm doing great. I'm just doing great.
How you doing, George?
George Howell, I'm doing great as well. Thank you.
Guys, I'm back on contiguous land. Is that what it's called? The contiguous United States. I just got back from a tour.
Contiguous, right? It's contiguous.
Is it? It's yes, it is. It's contagious. I saw a lot of Ohio on this last run. We did about 12 dates, and I think half of them were in fucking Ohio. So
gotta love it.
This was the first tour I've ever done where I did not book anything. This was totally our agent did everything, which is rare for me. So that was nice, but I felt a little out of control with some of the spaces. You know, I showed up, I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know,
like Nick Cage out of control, or
no, I didn't get that angry with anybody. I didn't get that Drive Angry 3D with anybody, but I was definitely like in the weeds, so to say, for a couple of these shows. So, but you know, it feels weird to be back. I don't know. We're recording this right after Easter, and spoiler alert, in the future, the Pope has died.
He's dead.
How are you guys taking it?
Well, you know, I'm getting my all of my alcohol and drugs ready for what I'm expecting to be a righteous conclave.
It's gonna be a fun one.
It'll be real cool. I don't know if you've seen the potential popes. It's a very, very diverse crowd this time, and I'm sure there will be some underhanded conspiracies occurring in the enclave.
Didn't somebody call this a Vatican drag race that like we're about to witness?
I mean, it kind of is. This is like the biggest event. This is their Super Bowl.
And it doesn't even come every year.
I heard they're even going to get Kendrick Lamar to perform. So.
Dude, you and I are going to have to like. We're gonna have to do a lot of chatting off camera, because I have not been Catholic for a long time.
Oh well,
but I love a conclave. I cannot wait.
I mean, look,
so just watch and wait for smoke.
Like I don't know when it's gonna happen, but like I have no problem. We could record this as like a listener watch party. Like I have no context of what's going on other than like I don't believe in religion. George is a lapsed Catholic. James. He has a lot of conspiracies about it. I think
what they call me is a heretic.
I think so.
Me too.
Among other things, but
James, I can't believe you didn't open with like JD Vance Pope assassination conspiracies.
Well, okay, look. So what's been really funny is I actually found out after my wife, and my wife beat me to the punch on the JD Vance conspiracy. And I was even trying to get clarification. Did he die at 1:30 our time or 1:30 Italy time?
Yeah, because that would be Easter, right? If it was our time, correct? Or no, their time. Yeah. Because it's east of us. Yes. No.
You know,
but so I've heard differing things of whether JD Vance even met with him. I heard one story that the Pope refused to meet with him, and that was like his last, like, fuck you, I literally Irish goodbye off Earth is just being like, I don't want to meet with this fucking this son of Satan, you know, couch fucker.
Only James and my Conclave podcast will have the
inside scoop.
You got to think about it, like the crowd outside waiting for the smoke. That's got to be the biggest tailgate.
Yes,
in all of the world.
The only reason I know about Conclave at all. Like we have the first track on our new album is called Conclave. The only reason I know what it is
because the movie.
That's stupid.
It's the Ralph Fiennes movie. Yeah.
Wow, Dan shocking. Brown novel / movie, Angels and Demons. My favorite author of all time. Everybody knows that. So
I only know about it from the last time.
Not Ray Fiennes. I'm talking about like the quintessential prequel to the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
Angels and Demons with Renton from Star Wars.
Illuminatus. Yeah, I know. I remember. Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back on track, guys. It's good to be back in New York City, and it's good to be watching our favorite show again, California Dreams. We are back.
Wait a minute, Pete. Did you say you were out of town for the Pope's death?
Yes. Well,
I think the real conspiracy here is, where were you, buddy?
Well, I was selling hot dogs.
I know you secretly pine. I know you secretly pine to be Pope. So
we're gonna have to check credit card statements here to find out where your rooms were, hotel bookings.
That's we have played Easter before. I remember a couple years ago we played a festival on Easter, and the booker was like, "Hey man, we got to cancel the show. It's Easter. We didn't even think about that, you know." And I'm like, "Really? Is this your nice way of telling me that we had such low ticket pre-sales and you're giving us an out and you're letting us down easy?" I think that's what it truly meant. So
I'm just saying, no one knows where you were, and Easter and 420 happened on the same day, and there's a dead pope involved.
That is true. Yeah, it's way too many coincidences that are stacking up here.
A lot of fingers pointing at you, Pete.
I mean, I know nothing. I admit nothing. There's no real transition to get back to California Dreams from being accused of assassinating the Pope, but Yoko Ono, let's get to it.
Whoa.
George, any housekeeping that we need to talk about before we beg people to like and subscribe to this show?
There is not. Just please rate the show on whatever podcast client you use and tell a friend.
Yeah. Please like and subscribe. We have YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and I think Facebook still. We're with the boomers. We know what they like.
It's the polite and kind thing to do, folks. Just like and subscribe.
I'm ready to get to this episode. This episode that actually had some music elements to talk about, if not the focal point.
I mean, I really love that. And a lot of pretty solid jokes. I mean, let's just jump right into it. So we open up. We're at Sharky's. Is it Sharky's? Because it looks a little different. There's just the updated. They went through some 100%.
This starts at Sharky's like it normally does, and then we see, as we've seen before, we saw a poster on the wall that's going to tell us exactly what's going on for the episode. So nice and streamlined, super easy to keep track of if you're 10-year-old me and you know it. And I think this is basically a sequel to the second episode of the first season called Battle of the Bands. So we learn in this scene basically that there is an annual Battle of the Bands that the school holds at Sharky's, and wouldn't you know it, the California Dreams are the contending champions,
defending champions.
Yes,
yeah, okay. Defending the championship. I will say I do appreciate the continuity there. Okay,
yeah.
In a show that is like notorious for lack of continuity, we're starting out strong.
We don't know if
it's
been last year that they did this. I think. I got the vibe this was a couple years ago.
But we do find out. But we do find out that, because at the end we'll get there when we get there. But I would think it's safe to assume this is chronological. This is
1 year after they beat Bradley and the Billionaires. Then is that what you're saying?
Bradley and the Billionaires.
Bradley and the Billionaires, the first season, and you know what? At least they looked the part. And I will say I appreciated Bradley and the Billionaires as a villain band more than whatever this hodgepodge was of that we meet in this scene called Total Defiance. And the vibe I got is that there has been bad blood. They've been beefing for a while, these two bands. And I love the shot where they open up and it's basically this mirror image of the two bands. They have a Tony, they have a Tiffany. Like they have the bizarro version of each of these characters, including the managers.
Bizarro Sly. Yeah, I love how again they open with our show's tagline, "Vavoom." She just runs in with Sly, and they try and beat each other to the point.
Not our tagline. Why would she be using his tagline?
I feel like she, as a good manager, saw what won last year and is trying to replicate that. Like any music business manager, trying to replicate that success with their own project, you know?
No, that's what the music industry does in perpetuity. It will do that forever. There's so much interpolation all the time. But the only time it would make sense for her to say Vavoom would be now, because that is the bizarro catchphrase, because Sly says Baboom. That is the only time it makes sense. Every other time you have misheard or misinterpreted what he said. That's all. But based on what this other band looks like, I really wanted to hear them. I'm not going to say that it matched anything about like when it actually happened, but like
Definitely
the
not.
look of this
Yeah.
band, they look like in like living color. And I'm like, fuck yeah, we're going to get this kick-ass band. And this band doesn't even have drums later. So like, I'm very uncertain about what everybody's position is in the band, I should say.
I do really appreciate that I guess the frontman for this band is already wearing their band's merchandise.
I love it.
Like he's fully committed, way more committed than any of the other
I've never seen somebody wear a California Dreams shirt in
exactly
Dreams.
My point. Exactly my
point. And
point.
You know they had those on hand because they had cardboard cutouts of the fucking band in the second season. They have merch.
They just don't wear it. I mean, to be fair, I didn't really like wearing my own band's merch until I ran out of t-shirts recently. So.
I wear it constantly. And now that I've like shed some pounds, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. Now I can wear one of our band's medium t-shirts. It looks the same as the XL, but still,
it brand
feels
new.
Nicer.
Yeah.
Have I done that on tour? Have I literally swiped something from our table if I'm too sweaty from like playing on stage? Yes, 100%.
It's like the band equivalent of insider trading.
I mean, I paid for it. If there's no insider trading, somebody has to wear this shit.
Yeah, but somebody's getting shorted.
Me. 100% it's me. Like the fucking gas-powered distributor who makes our t-shirts, they're not getting shorted. You know, maybe
you're definitely paying for them. Yeah.
Maybe somebody who wanted an XL t-shirt and they couldn't get it because sweaty, chubby Pete had to put it on years ago. Maybe he's getting shortchanged. So, I'm concerned is the word that you didn't wear your t-shirt as much. I mean, it's a rite of passage, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, again, I just never, I only have like 5 t-shirts and I wear them until they disintegrate.
That's true. That Tool t-shirt has been taking a beating, you know? That's like...
It's been around for a long time, okay?
The online community that hates Tool now hates your t-shirt, so...
And by extension, me. And that is exactly why I'm wearing it, so...
That's cool. I remember our band used to wear uniforms, and it was just a Dickie shirt with our patch on the side. But then we also wore hoodies when we played outdoor festivals. And there was one time I was at the merch table after a show, and somebody pointed out, and he's like, oh. And I looked down. He looked disgusted was the word. And I looked down and I had our hoodie on. Below the hoodie, I had the uniform. And below that, I had the t-shirt that I was trying to sell this guy.
Wow.
Like, that is trifecta of douche right there. But the entrepreneurial spirit that I at least respect.
Lorena had one of your hoodies for the longest time. And I want to say they were the first in our band to wear one of our shirts. And then after that, I was like, okay with the idea. I still didn't do it, but I was okay with the idea. Because I was like,
right.
Lorena's far cooler than I am. And
Lorena,
if they're okay
anybody
with it,
doesn't
I'm
know,
okay
is our old co-host Zach's roommate. So it all makes sense. Everybody knows. Did you catch at this part when Rosie, let's just give a shout out to fucking Rosie. Like, what a great actress. She's been in a bunch of stuff we're going to talk about. She is the manager for Total Defiance. And she's mocking the Dreams. Her and Sly are going back and forth. And then Sly calls the Total Defiance band a freak show. Like, what in that band makes them a freak show?
It's probably the one guy who's in overalls and the one bald guy who looks very out of place.
That's just Dexy's Midnight Runners. That's all you described. Like,
and they come from a land down under.
So, but then Rosie calls the Dreams sugar-coated fluff. I think that's what she said.
She's not wrong.
That is what we've been saying this entire show, is that they're so saccharine and they're so tame and gentle that who would want to listen to them? You know? I'm not saying Total Defiance was like badass, but like they're definitely, you know, the two songs that were portrayed
considerably edgier. Yeah, considerably.
And again, we're going to give a shout out to California Nightmares, which they should have showed up to that. That was still like the best. That was shout out to James's first episode that he was on.
Yeah, that really would have, that honestly would have made the like anti band.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was a little too on the nose, and I know they're trying to evolve the writing this season. So,
I have a question. How old is Flavor Dave in that band?
Well, none of these people are high school age, but Flavor Dave could easily be 30. He could easily be 30. Now, I couldn't help but like, if this were like a more important show, I feel like they would have gotten like known artists to like pretend and be the band.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hoping that they were going to do this here, but they didn't.
That metal band that plays later is completely uncredited, and that drummer is at least 35, 40 years old. So they might be somebody. He
it's
looked
Cannibal
like
Corpse.
a little
Cannibal Corpse.
Well, you could have got Danny Filth from Cradle of Filth because he's literally about 5'4". So like he would have passed as a teenager, but the rest of these people did not.
Well, that's like most metal bands.
They are. They're gentle.
They behave
rodents.
like 13-year-olds, but they're almost certainly 35.
So this is the crux of the plot here, where when they're insulting each other, Rosie calls Lorena a groupie.
Owned. Oof. Yeah, that had to hurt.
Sick burn, but it's apropos to talk about, James. Is or is not Lorena a groupie? I think she's hitting all the check marks of being a groupie, and they even bring it up. They're like, you're sleeping with the guitarist. You come to every show.
But how is that a groupie? She's dating a member of the band. It's like an obligation as someone who dates somebody in a band. It's almost like a foregone conclusion. I guess I'm going to the show.
I'm not slut shaming, and I love people that hang around bands.
She's also providing their rehearsal space.
Okay, so it's more like a sugar mama situation.
100%.
She's definitely not charging them. You know, I think when this first happened, they did say something about rent or something like that, but like,
it's never been discussed.
She's a rich kid. She's not collecting rent on this band, and especially if she's not banging the lead guitarist. So.
Well, and again, maybe that was kind of the play all along, or maybe that's Jake's play to make sure that they don't have to pay rent.
I mean, I got to respect Jake in this situation, taking one for the team, but like Lorena is lovely. Not a great singer, as we're going to see, but I appreciate the dedication. I just, she gets real bent out of shape about being called a groupie, and then she's just bummed out. She doesn't want to go, and this is when the first LPE happened for me. My first laugh per the episode is like, Sly is there, and he's like, "Come on, Lorena, don't you want to go?" And then she's like, "No," and then then somebody's like, "Oh, well, we need your keys, so we can't go. So you need to." And then Sam's like, "I have the keys," and he's like, "Okay, bye."
Yikes!
And I got to say, all these LPEs, the last 3 seasons, 90% of them are coming from Sly. Okay, so. I don't approve of anything else Sly does in his life, but like,
the jokes are getting
funny
better.
Motherfucker. My only other, what were we thinking?
Well, I was just gonna say, so they kind of wrap up there. Mm-hmm. There's a little insecurity or unsurety, and we find ourselves in the hallway.
We do,
and then we get the next, what proves to be a very important subplot of this episode, and it's Total Defiance's manager.
We've never seen her in school before.
She is it's because she's an actual record executive. She's graduated school a long time ago. She's just hanging around with high schoolers because at this time that wasn't necessarily a completely unacceptable thing.
Question, James. Sidebar, Your Honor. Have you ever played a Battle of the Bands?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so have you played one in a high school?
Yep, sure did.
Did they have a rule that all the kids, all the members of the band had to go to that school?
I don't remember, but I don't think so. I think just by nature of it being in one high school, that was the case, but I'm pretty sure the band that I had that played in Battle of the Bands, our drummer for sure did not go to our high school.
Same. We had
I don't know if that was strictly enforced, though.
We had 2 members of the band that were not going to our high school enrolled, but they said all the members had to be, and we fudged it. We fudged the signature, and we just said just put 2 of our friends' names in the band, like, and said they were in the band.
Wow.
And we're like, what are they gonna do? We were badass. It was 5 bands, and we got last place. Yeah, and George is mentioning that we actually used his name on there. So fraud.
Yeah. And those kids ended up getting arrested there.
27
strictly
years.
Enforced
Statute
that
of limitations is up. So I was thinking that maybe some of the members of Total Defiance don't actually go to that school, but we'll never know because they were uncredited and we can't do any of our sleuthing work. So the other part about Rosie, we've never seen her before, sure, but she's definitely been there because she is crushing hard on Mark. She is fucking horny for this guy. And I just want to say, I don't see it. I do not understand.
Why?
What does she see? No. What does she see in Mark?
What do you mean? Mark's a good-looking guy.
I'm not saying
he's the new heartthrob of the band. What do you mean?
He's not. No, he's the new Matt. He's not the heartthrob. He's just, I don't know what his role in the band is. Jake is the heartthrob, okay?
But Jake's off the table. Jake is basically a married man at this point.
Dude,
he was dating Tiffany last season,
relationships,
and we didn't find out at all how that played out or like how they sorted those deep emotional connections that they lost. But now he's off the table. He's off the table.
So ergo, well, Tony is still kind of a bachelor. He's been flirting with Sam, but he's a bachelor. But he's the drummer. Nobody gives a fuck about the drummer. I just don't see Mark.
Yeah.
I get it. I get that this is supposed to make Mark uncomfortable. I get that there's humor in this anecdotal subplot, but I don't see it because, as George points out, Rosie is written exactly like Sly. She's obnoxious. She's horny. She cares about money. It's just Sly as a woman. It's true. But I do not see the attraction here. Other than, yes, it's funny to make Mark uncomfortable because he's such a square peg, Well,
I mean, in the same way that, like, Sly would try and weasel in whatever situation he could, even situations he wasn't wanted, he'd always drop the line, right? So she's shooting her shot, dude.
I mean, she's full on sexually assaults Mark at the end.
It's 100% harassment. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But she's shooting her shot.
Well, I mean, Mark is traded as sexual fodder for Sly, and that's something that just happened. The flesh trade alive and well in these teen NBC shows
at PCH. Can you believe it?
So Sly bets. This was kind of a funny exchange. They kept upping the ante about how much they were going to bet on who was going to win the Battle of the Bands. And they started at 100, went to 500, and then he's like, "Yeah, we do 100." I'm like, "That's great," because $95, it's $191 today. It's a lot of money back then.
Wow,
And I'm gonna say it more than once. Rosie is by far the best actress on this show. She has been in a ton of stuff. Her name is Senta Moses. She was one of the daughters in Home Alone. What else was she in? She was
no shit.
Yeah. She was also Delia, one of the friends of Claire Danes in My So-Called Life.
Wow.
She got the fuck around in the 90s, and she drastically different looks on her too, but like just the range. I miss a good character actor, so I just wanted to say that. I saw her and I recognized her right away. So good on her. She sells it. I wanted Sly and her to kind of get together because
that's what I thought. I thought
he's
they were
so
building
vain.
to that.
This would be perfect.
No, but it's like combining oil and water. They're too similar.
This is definitely a Capulet and Montague situation, is what you're inferring. Okay. Well, here Lorena comes up with the idea that she wants to try out for the band, and she does this cry that kind of lasts throughout the entire series. That is fucking insufferable to listen to. It's not funny. It's not working for me, James.
The ironic part is that she's playing somebody who is bad at singing.
Yeah.
But in reality, she's actually a person who's just bad at acting. Because I agree. It's really insufferable, and it's like there's like a level of milking it where I'm like, all right, I'll accept. And like other people have had their moments where they like milk a thing.
Yeah.
But this is a little over. It's like not even. It's a little jarring.
Well, I think she's still new. We're on the 5th episode. We didn't even say it. The 5th episode is called Yoko Ono, and it came out October of 1994. So it was 5 episodes in. We haven't really got a centralized Lorena episode other than like her being flirted at by multiple members of the band. So she's trying to get her footing. I guess she's trying to be funny as well. You know, Matt Garrison leaving really left a void.
Yeah,
it's big shoes to fill.
She'll get there. You know, she'll get there, or will she? I don't know.
Well, I think the only thing she has to offer is this loft right now, and that's where we're gonna be. I got my second LPE here, where Jake is for some reason said yes to the idea that Lorena can try out for the band. Okay, and Sly asks why can Lorena join the band and he can't? He's been there since day one, which is true.
Yeah, this was pretty good.
Sly has been there since episode 1. And he's like, well, I'm banging Lorena basically. And then Sly asks him, he's like, what are you doing next Saturday? Which is great. No homophobia, nothing. It was just straight. I don't care what I have to do. I will make it happen. You know,
literally, whose dick do I have to suck to get in this band?
I would do it. I love that in him. He's just such a go-getter, or go get him, if you will. So
yeah, nice. There you go.
So
how progressive?
How does the audition go, James?
So, you know, Lorena comes out in her very nice black dress. The crowd all, oohs and ahs.
This dress does not make sense to where they were, but go ahead.
It doesn't, but neither does the song. So the song choice.
The song choice is only there for the one gag. That's it.
And it is bad. It is bad, but again, like I imagine she can actually sing better than this.
I think everybody on the show can sing. I think everybody that has ever auditioned and gotten on a show can sing. Like everybody I've seen in this show has theater kid energy. And they have at least taken a bunch of lessons that their parents have paid for.
That is a really good point. What she's doing here is clear theater kid energy. Yeah. Even how she's overplaying stuff. It's like what happens in a high school theater when you don't get checked by the high school director.
Yes. And you know, it's also theater kid energy is the anecdotal story about like, oh, I'm a trained singer and I had to learn how to sing bad. You know, like they have this story where they're like, oh, it took me a long time to undo that, but I eventually got there. And I'm like, all right, calm down. Fuck off.
Who are you? Who do people actually say that?
Yes. It's like a trope. And like people that I respect, like famously George Costanza on Seinfeld said this. Jason Alexander was that where he sings into the answering machine. He's like, I'm a trained opera singer, so this took a long time to actually do. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, he still gives off theater kid energy even as a 60-year-old man. So
yes. So,
anyways, her audition is terrible.
Everyone
knows it's terrible.
But Jake has fuck eyes, and he's like, yes, you're in.
He's completely. He's so drunk on fuck that he just is willing. He's willing to let it all slide. I think maybe he too was too distracted by the dress, like the rest of the audience.
That slit goes all the way up.
It's all the way. It's all the way. And instead of being truthful and honest, they don't tell her how bad her singing was.
Well, it's not. Jake would not listen in that moment anyway. You at least say, "Hey, we'll get back to you." You know, that's what you do, and then you talk sense into the person. It's a bad idea to have sex with one of your band members. It's a bad idea to bring somebody in to your band that you're already having intercourse with or relations with. So this is bad, and it's also. But this band does not care about the problems that might be. All right, like they're all going to date each other. Apparently, it doesn't matter to people like Tiffany. Okay, but don't do not date the person that is giving you free rehearsal space. That should be 101.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
It's like, don't dip your pen in the company ink, you know?
But they do not care. And they're going to just tank the battle of the bands so they don't hurt her feelings. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Like, Sly would just up and say, fuck no. You're not in the band.
That is true. But again, he understands that Jake would beat him up or do whatever.
This is so toxic. And it gets peppered in whenever it needs to be. The fact that, like, oh no, Jake is going to physically assault us if we cross him. Like, how are you in a band that long? It's such a toxic relationship.
Yeah, well, look at the history of bands, and I think you'll see that relationship's actually pretty common.
Okay,
especially
so this is the Oasis thing. Like, if you're constantly scared and it makes great press, go for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we find this is what happens in the next scene because, like, they're all scared of what Jake might say. And in this scene, I thought Tiffany had fucking the sickest burn. Because of all that unbridled rage in her. She was like,
it's going to boil over soon.
She's like, I can't believe Lorena sounds like a beached walrus with a toothache. What a line.
That is a pretty accurate description of how the fake singing, fake bad singing sounded. And I think what my laugh per episode here was when he comes in. So basically Jake comes in as they're discussing this, and they at some point say, Sly, you're going to have to break the news to him.
Yes.
And of course, Jake is like, oh, break what news to me? And then Sly hands it off to Tony.
Yes.
And then Tony, before handing it back off to Sly,
it's like a rugby match.
It really was a
lateral,
huge sports play.
He should have left with
a papal
drunk. That was
like a papal conclave. It was huge. Like, the attention here was insane. But Jake, one of the funny things is right as they're about to tell him, Jake smacks the table to kill a fly, and this is before they had said anything to him, and everyone dives under the table. And I found that to be a hilarious overreaction. Like, not only are they all terrified to tell him his girlfriend's bad at singing, they're convinced that he's willing to resort to physical violence before even knowing what the problem is.
It's true. They could be all having Vietnam flashbacks, but
that is right, because they are old enough to have served in Vietnam.
They definitely are.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go back to the loft. This whole episode, back and forth from Sharky's to the loft. There's multiple set changes, and it's only those two. But I had a question. So so I'm getting confused about what happens in this scene. If you could help me out. I didn't understand in this part why can't they just put Lorena as like a far background singer?
Honestly, that was my thing too. It's like, all right, you're not the lead singer. Yeah. But you'll be a backup singer. And you could also do the tried and true trick of, like, here's your microphone. It's just not plugged in.
Yeah. Or, like, here's the tambourine. Just stay really far behind so you're not messing anybody up.
Sit behind the wall of sound and shake that thing like it means something. Or, like,
give her, I think it would have been fun to have a rehearsal at this part. Instead of the goofy shit, have a rehearsal, have her hit one strike of a triangle, and be like, hey, you're in the band.
That would have been hilarious.
And then she's like, wait a minute, is this because I'm bad at singing? And I think that would have been a better written segment than what we got.
I was going to save this to the end, but we can definitely talk about it now, because at this point, too, I thought there has to be a moment where Lorena boils over. Like, Yoko Ono would imply that, like, she's going to get so offended or hurt or pissed off that it's going to,
she's going to have one of them killed. Out front
the
Dakota.
Murdered, definitely in front of the Dakota, just like John Lennon. But what they're gonna do is try and teach her how to sing. And I just kept waiting for the moment where she, like, catches on to, they don't want her to be in the band, and then she's like, get out, I'm kicking you out of the rehearsal space, or she, like, creates some kind of divide in the band, and the band's like about to break up. That when I saw that title, that's what I thought. It was going to like create some serious turmoil. But honestly, I just end up feeling bad for Lorena.
Well, you bring up a really good point. This
we'll get to
this scene in the loft where they're teaching her to sing, quote unquote. Are they doing that so they can record it and show Jake, or is that just a byproduct of what happened? Because I was very confused at what the purpose of this was. Were they actually genuinely trying to teach her to sing?
I think it's said in the scene before, like, surely no one can be this bad at singing. Like, we can, I think even Tiffany was like, we can maybe improve her singing, show her, just gives her some tips and tricks. But there is a piece of me that would understand, or not necessarily be totally opposed to Sly taking this opportunity to record it just so he could be like, see how bad she is.
Interesting.
That is yeah. There's some deep psychology going on.
I think there was some like cutting room floor. There was definitely some dialogue that was cut that they planned to do this. This is a scheme. These kids are constantly scheming. They're like Sanford and Son.
That is true. That is true. And I honestly, there's got to be some on the floor, because I just was expecting her there. I was expecting the implosion of the band to be because of this. I was expecting some.
You're always expecting really the implosion of the band. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, maybe not. But when you call the episode Yoko Ono, you would assume that because Yoko's feelings didn't get hurt. Right? The Beatles broke up. That's what happened. Yoko's feelings didn't get hurt. She broke up the Beatles. So if you're going to call the episode that, I feel like I was honestly expecting, and even from her character, I would expect Lorena to spaz, to be like really pissed off or like deeply offended by it to the point of.
They lean into her being the feisty Latina a couple times in this show. Like, she'll start speaking Spanish and get really mad about something. So I fully expected that. I mean, as we said last week, I'm just very glad they didn't have Sam being Asian in this episode, basically.
Yeah, well, we talked about how overtly racist that would have been. So I am glad they didn't go that route. But
it's just a bad pun. That's all they're really guilty of this week. But you never know, kids.
Honestly, I guess that's my point. Like, I'm making it seem like I'm mad at Lorena, and I'm really mad at what they called the episode. If they were going to call it Yoko Ono, then whoever was the Yoko in this scenario should have like threatened to break up the band. Well, it makes sense
because Jake is the John Lennon of the band. Obviously, he's the most talented member. And he brings in somebody that nobody wants that can't sing properly.
Did John Lennon go, yeah, you know what? Yoko isn't adding anything to the Beatles. Let's continue playing Beatles. Is that what happened? No, that isn't what happened.
Not sure.
That isn't what happened. And if you ask any person who likes the Beatles, they're going to have thoughts on how, it was deliberately Yoko's fault. And maybe even malice.
This is total aside, but the whole theory is that nobody would know Yoko Ono's name if John Lennon hadn't died, basically, and she would have just been one of his many girlfriends that he may or may not have assaulted, and that's it. But because he died, she's like forever, plastered on the wall of history, basically. Like, she would have been known as like the girl that disrupted the Beatles, but probably didn't kill him and stop the career completely.
Yeah, maybe people would look back with less malice, but like there was some disruption in the band, and I think people know Yoko's name because she screamed into a microphone while Chuck Berry was trying to sing with John Lennon.
Yes.
She would come into the studio sessions and deliberately try to like insert her Freudian slip. Insert her view of like what their music should be, which was completely antithetical to whatever musicality they were trying to put together. Again, I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. But I would say that she would probably, and George does bring up a good point. Everyone knows most of Paul's wives, but we don't necessarily codify Paul's wives with the disruption of the Beatles or the disintegration of the Beatles. And the Beatles were as they broke up, they were pretty obvious that it was Yoko's fault. So, or at least that's what they thought. So
it was pretty acrimonious all around, but you're right. There was definitely a catalyst there. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that our band, You Bred Raptors, has played with Yoko Ono. And
really,
we did her art opening at the museum of with the MoMA. It's a museum.
Sick. The Museum of MoMA.
Modern Art. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were hired to play for. They're like, hey, you're a weird band. Yoko Ono's a weird woman. Like, why don't you play? Perfect. So like we played. She didn't come down at all for us, but I went up there to check out her little opening, and she did like a little thing to the crowd. I was fully expecting her to do something weird, and she didn't. She kind of like ducked out pretty quick. But yeah, she didn't break up our band. And you know what? I totally understand why John Lennon did not break up, because he was in what James? He was in the land of Goo Goo Moo, and he just couldn't see the forest through the trees kind of thing. So
the land of Goo Goo Moo, yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna go back to the loft.
Right. So they try and get Lorena up to speed in singing. It doesn't go well. She gives a lot of very performative theater student behavior, and there's no hope. Everyone resigns after at least a good hard 2 minutes of trying to make it work.
But that's the thing in the
she's
scene.
hopeless,
It doesn't make sense though, because like when they start shaking her to make her vibrato, they genuinely look like, oh, this is working. This is better. Like, if that's the case, are they putting this on for Lorena so they can just record her to show Jake later? That's truly what I think is going on, because I did not understand their reactions to this. They weren't horrified by it. They were really, it really looked like she was getting better.
They already thought that she was terrible at singing.
Yeah.
And so, like, even when they do the first thing where they're like, okay, now higher, and she like stands up higher.
Yeah.
They clearly say that that's not what we meant, but whatever. Okay. I think they were just doing it because they're like, well, we have to like at least try for 2 minutes. And that's what they did.
I don't know why
they tried for 2 minutes. Now, I think you may be right though. I think Sly's motives all along here.
But we don't see him like having a recorder there. That's why I think there's definitely a scene missing.
That's what I'm saying. So, but when you are kind of right, because when they're all at the table, they're fully aware that they made a recording of it, and it sounds terrible. And then they trick Jake into listening. I can't remember exactly how they phrase it, but they're like, if somebody like this was auditioning for the band, what would you say?
Sly said somebody wants them to manage them.
Yeah,
like, you want Sly to manage them. Should I take this girl, basically?
And Jake gives a pretty brutal Google review and says this person's got no talent. They can't sing on pitch. They're horrendous. And then he hears Lorena talking and realizes that it's Lorena.
Yeah.
And then finally Jake has a come to Jesus moment. Just like John Lennon did. And it's why the Beatles stayed together.
That's why they just celebrated his 80th birthday together.
Yeah, they're all still alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has the realization, it kind of sinks in, and just as he gets the words, how am I going to tell Lorena how bad her singing is? We focus in on Lorena coming out of the
bathroom. Classic trope. In the background. Here's everything.
And see, here's another one. Here's another moment where I was like, oh, here we go. Now Lorena's going to get pissed, and she's going to figure out some way to like disrupt their whole steez. But she doesn't, and I end up feeling bad for Lorena because she had to hear her friends talking, bad-mouthing her terrible singing ability.
Well, they weren't doing it callously. At least they were just.
But it's never easy. She says later, never easy to hear.
I'm sorry,
especially because they were all being so nice to her, saying, "Oh yeah, we can make this work. Yeah, you sing okay. Yeah, that wouldn't be easy to hear. Okay,
so
have some fucking sympathy, okay, Pete? Jeez."
So they're in a pickle. They don't know what to do about it, but since Lorena hears, she comes up with this idea that she's going to fake having laryngitis. So they're back at the loft. Sly's wearing this hilariously oversized coat.
It's huge. 2 Slys could fit in that.
I think that's the same coat, and George might be able to confirm that it's the same one that Sly wore in the first season when he was going on a date with Jenny, that we think is the exact same one from the movie Cool World with Brad Pitt.
It's also the same one that David Byrne wore in The Talking Heads.
It's okay. All right. So finally, we're going to go back to Sharky's again. It is the day of the Battle of Bands. I had a lot of issues with how they set this show up. There's just bongos on the stage. I don't know if they're striking the stage each time. They should really backline this shit. There's no amps for when Total Defiance finally gets up there.
Well, what I really do love about it, and this is accurate, as somebody who's played many shows.
Yes, many.
Just like in most shows, the only other people in the crowd are the other bands.
Yes. That's actually the most accurate part of these.
Super accurate. That is like
painful.
100%. And like there's no amps on the stage because this awkward exchange hasn't happened.
Okay.
Somebody walks up to you right after you get done playing and they're like, "Awesome set. Can I use your amp?"
Yeah. You guys it was sick set. Can I borrow your entire drum kit?
Can I borrow your entire back line? Will you just play our songs for us?
I love it when the local band does that. And we just had that happen. I won't name names, but on tour.
You should.
I got a call on the way there, and the local band, who demanded like a pretty big guarantee from our budget, was like, "Hey, do you guys mind if we borrow your drums?" And we're like, "Well, they're not our drums. We're borrowing them from the other touring band because we're on the road with them." And they're like, "Oh, it's cool if we use those, right?" And we're like, "I guess." And they're like, "Well, how about your bass amp?" And the dude is like, "Hey," he's like, "What kind of bass amp do you have?" And I was like, the only one that's there. We're traveling." So he's like, "Well, I got like a 610, but it's like annoying to carry. So like, I was hoping I could just use yours and stuff." And like, I was like, "Yeah, man, cool. Go ahead, And
dude,
I wouldn't have cared.
I found this was a trick. Anytime especially people that I did not trust.
Yeah.
Anytime I would come across a situation, I'd be like, "Yeah, $20." And then magically their gear would arrive. It was so crazy. It was like they didn't have it, and then all I had to say was it will cost $20 to use mine, and then their trunk would open and their gear would be in it.
Wow, that's folkloric. You're a hero, sir. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, something like that.
So do we want to talk?
That's right. Yeah, I'm a folklore. Yeah, folklore hero. Sure.
Okay, so let's talk about Total Defiance. They don't sound anything like I thought they would.
Nope.
They're mostly made up of hip hop rappers. What is the crux of this band?
No. We've got the lead vocalist, who is a rapper. We've got a keyboard player. Okay, we've got a bass player with no amp, guitar player with no amp.
There's only bongos.
Other guitar player with no amp. A very old looking guy with dreads playing the bongos, and I think there is a drum set.
Not for them. For them. No amps. Their cords are sticking out of their instruments into nothing.
Because they're a fucking acoustic hip hop band, okay, Pete? Jeez.
Well, anyway,
acoustic spoken word hip hop.
We see.
There is a kit though. There is a kit. I'm looking at it right now, and there is a kit. I don't know if they have a drummer.
They scare away the country singer band, which I was looking forward to see, and then after them is a metal band that is. I'm telling you, it's like Anvil.
Yeah, it's Cannibal Corpse.
It's like Anvil. They are fucking old people in that band. And this is what's happened a couple times that we've seen Battle of the Bands episodes on this show. It's just like, I really wish we'd hear like a full, or at least part of a song from each band kind of thing. So
that would make sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That would make sense. But all we got was this stupid montage.
Yes.
But the drummer for the metal band for sure is 40 years old. There's no doubt.
He is actual. He looks like he's done drugs. Like he is definitely an actual musician.
He's clearly on drugs.
I couldn't find it. I was really pissed that I was like, I wanted to see what this guy was in.
And then my favorite band, which is like the most California shit of all time. It's a guy with a ukulele, a guy on a smaller pair of bongos, also with dreads, who's sitting on a stool. And then we have a guy with a microphone inside of a conch shell. Singing
love that.
Into
what kind of microphone were they using? Like a piezo mic or something like that?
No, it's the microphone that gives you the sound of the ocean, dude.
Yeah, cool.
It's the sound of the ocean, man.
That should have been Stingray. Just saying. Can we? Okay, so let's talk about the California Dream song when they finally get up there. Of course, they're the last band. Of course, they're going to win this fucking thing.
They're defending champs. They're the defending champs.
This song.
That's their right.
This song. What part of this song was Lorena even going to sing? It is all Jake. There's not even background vocals.
Yeah, I don't think the plan was for her to ever sing. I don't know if that was, but I also think maybe because I guess they don't know that she knows yet at this point, right? They don't know.
They think she has laryngitis. Yes.
Yeah, right. So there could have been a last minute Hail Mary where Jake kind of feels bad and he's like, you know what? The least I can do is sing a song.
Yeah.
That Lorena will like and that
I think it would have made more sense that like he hurts his throat or something, can't sing, and then Lorena has to come up and she actually has an okay voice. You know, like that would have also made sense. And she's like, I just wanted to be a part of something, but I don't want to be in your band ever again. So I don't know. I would have written this episode a little differently. But you know,
clearly, yeah.
But you know what I wouldn't have changed is Jake's little solos, and they are
terrible. Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, they're terrible. His miming is terrible,
incessant. But every single lick, it's too much. It's too many little solos, and then he gets a full solo. Like, calm down, Slash. This is a lot.
Yeah, well, to be fair, he does have a flannel tied around his waist. Just like Slash.
We love Jake's flannels, and we appreciate.
I think my favorite part, my favorite part of that show is when Total Defiance's manager makes the kissy face at Mark, and Mark recoils in disgust.
Yes,
I don't know if you caught that, but that was definitely my favorite part. Mark would be
lucky to be with Rosie, and I'm sick of being quiet about it, and I haven't been quiet about it the entire episode. But I'm just saying. I back to Jake's solos. Too much vibrato too. We didn't even talk about that. Like, he's constantly wiggling everything. Stop it. It's like his one move. And then so they get done the song. It's of course a stupid fucking ballad like it always is. And then I saw Rosie like pantomiming right after, and she mouthed to the band. She's like, "It's so bad," and I loved that. I think she was being like honest in the moment as an actress. Like, wow.
That's that wasn't her acting. That was just her actual reaction. Yeah.
So the judges immediately come up and they're like, the winner of the Battle of the Bands is California Dreams. Like they
had to pay him off.
At all.
They had to pay him off.
This is a little suspect. This conclave that just happened, the white smoke has gone up, and all of a sudden it's
there's a conspiracy here. Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys have won again.
Yeah, for sure.
The metal band in the back sitting at the booth, they don't seem too upset about anything. I don't.
Yeah, and somehow the drummer got older.
He did.
Like when they pan over to them after this, he looks even older than
Dorian Gray in the corner, just looking worse and worse.
Yeah.
Is there even a second or third place? Is this like a winner take all situation, like over the top?
Of course.
Apparently not. So, then Lorena, is congratulating them, shouts, and they realize, wait a minute, you don't have a frog in your throat. And she was like, yeah, you caught me, but thanks for being so delicate and trying to let me down easy. And then Tiffany, holding in her rage, said, we should have been honest with you, and said that you were an awful fucking singer.
Yeah. I mean, they really should have.
And
they should. I was honestly just expecting. There's this wholesome moment at the end, but I was honestly expecting at least one like blow up like band threatened to be disbanded.
You keep thinking that, and I don't think it's going to happen.
It doesn't. A spoiler alert, it doesn't.
Kids
That's my
cannot
whole
handle
problem here.
that amount of tension and pressure.
I guess.
I don't know. George, what did you think of this episode? The 5th episode of the 3rd season. We're getting into it. So, what did you think, bud?
I liked it. It was I mean, it's in the same vein as everything else this season. Nothing too band oriented or music focused, but it's
more than the last couple we've
keeping
seen.
pace.
More than
Sorry?
It's more band oriented than like slide dating a blind person.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, they did mention a band and they had, the normal end of it, but I don't know. I feel like they've hit their stride and they're just trying to keep pace at this point.
Okay. Do we want to give out some awards? Because it looks like we have a lot more contestants for this, actually. So, James, who would you give the your awards to this week?
I mean, honestly, the best pantomiming was the metal band. Like that looked like a metal band.
They were an actual band, and
they looked like a metal band.
I wish there was a Shazam for faces, but that drummer is definitely dead by now. So
yeah, for sure, he was
okay.
at least 50 when they filmed this. The worst pantomiming, I mean, is Jake. Jake is really slacking. For as many solos as they had in that goddamn song, dude, not one of them was believable.
You're always bagging on Jake. You really have it out for that guy.
Listen,
get on the show. We'll talk.
I've played a lot of guitar, and what he's doing isn't even that hard. Like here, this is just a thing that I've always felt.
But in his defense, there's so many of these solos to remember.
Yeah. I'm not saying he has to be on the right fret. I'm just saying he's got. If you're gonna write a fucking song, okay, and you're gonna solo every 30 seconds, you got to at least know how to do that, or at least
it's not even every 30 seconds. It's every 6 bars. The last 2 bars of every measure are solos.
I don't know. For me, like if somebody, even if I didn't know how to play guitar, if someone hired me to play guitar, I would at least watch other people playing guitar and try and mimic it a little bit better than any of these people do.
So I do have to jump in here because I just remembered this, but also does play into what you're saying. Like for a guy that just got a cassette tape and was told, here, make it look like this.
Yeah.
I think he does a good job. But thinking about how Zachary Throne was probably writing this music.
Yeah.
It sounded so similar to How Do You Talk to an Angel from the first season.
We should just go to the source on this. I was thinking that like the intro of the episode, the singing voice and Mark's fucking squeaky voice do not match whatsoever. It is like a baritone and a fucking tenor, and I'm like, okay, I don't buy it at all. But like, I appreciate Zachary Throne and all that he did, but
didn't you feel like some real How Do You Talk to an Angel vibes during this song?
Dude, all of early 90s, mid 90s ballads, they all sounded the same to me. So yeah, sure.
True.
So I'm going to say...
Sorry, go on with the awards.
No, for sure. I mean, I'm going to give my Jenny to the guy playing the conch shell. So I've seen a lot better pantomiming for conch shells stuff. That's all. And James, who would you want to be in a band with? Because we have so many fucking musicians in this episode.
It's got to be Flava Dave.
It's Flava Dave. Yeah.
I'm going to say Rosie. Rosie is mine. She would fight
think
for
about
our
it.
band.
Think about it. This band has 6 people in it.
Yep.
And none of them plug in their instrument. Talk about like the most low maintenance band of all time. No one's going to ask you to use your amp. Like it just seems like the perfect situation. Flava Dave's doing the heavy lifting. He's got to be out there in the front putting on a show. The rest of the band, they might be asleep and no one will know the difference.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a pretty reasonable situation.
Yeah. So I was gonna say Rosie would be my answer, but the fact that she didn't even catch that none of the band members had amps plugged in, that is a fireable offense. Now that you mention it.
can you really say that Rosie's in the band? I mean, Rosie's in charge of a
Oh, how
band.
dare
She's
you?
not
What,
in the
she's just a
band.
groupie to you, George? Is that what you're
Yeah,
telling me?
well, is Sly in California Dreams?
No.
Sly has been
Yeah.
my Tiffy award multiple times because of how he's gone to bat for the band, and Rosie is doing the same thing.
But he represents the band. He's not in the band.
In the
You know what?
band.
Get
They
outta
even
Get outta
clearly
here.
define that in this episode.
Yeah. George, you're a groupie. I don't know. You can't talk.
I've been a groupie for you
For
so many
day one.
shows.
Okay, so
I'm
James,
all turned inside out, Pete.
James, tell us what the next episode is going to be about, based solely on the title alone. Are you
The
ready?
title is called The Long Goodbye.
Somebody's moving. Somebody's moving,
Who's moving?
or Jake is breaking up with Lorena, and they won't even talk about it by the next episode. That's what I think's going to
You
happen.
got to narrow it down. Which one is it?
Okay, so if someone is moving, Tiffany? Tiffany?
Can I give you a hint? I'm going to give you a hint.
Yeah.
This is one of the very few microscopic instances of continuity in this show, and it's from recently.
I agree with that.
I don't know.
Can you not see what's going on, James, with this next episode?
That's so terrible.
Are you blinded by your love of the show and you can't figure it out?
Wait, so Sly's going to break up with the blind girl?
She has a name, James.
There you
Damn it.
Really?
She's so much more than a disability.
That is true. That is true. But I just didn't realize they were ever going to reference her again.
No, we're so surprised, George. What is it about?
Sly is devastated when Allison tells him that she's moving away to attend a special school, and they have special schools now. And he deals with his heartbreak by ignoring her. Meanwhile, Lorena and Sam urge Jake and Tony to be more romantic, which leads them to unsuccessfully borrow some tactics from Tiffany's romance novel.
Wow. So, okay, I mean, the whole blind thing aside, but and Sly being it Sly, Jake is going to steal Tiffany's ideas for romance to woo
That's pretty
Lorena.
dark.
That is fucking
pretty
dark. And
It's going to drive Tiffany's rage into uncharted territories.
Wow. Okay, I'm
we
excited for next
we
week.
may get this may be a prequel. The end of this series may be a prequel to a Law and Order episode. Just saying.
Yeah. We're going to be the special victims in next week's episode. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, taking bets. I'm hoping that it's not some like really lame like pandering or like 90s the more you know moment about explaining disabilities. I'm hoping that this is like a special school, like I don't know, some like accelerated college program for neurosurgeons or something, like what kind of special school do you think that
It's a blind
Allison
school.
is
How is
going
this
to?
even a question?
So I'm saying I'm hoping that they're not pandering to something
They
like
are
that.
not going to show this school whatsoever. This is a catalyst just to have Sly
It's
act
just
like
a conduit. Yeah,
That's it,
exactly.
yeah.
It's just a conduit for conflict.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She's going to ride away on her seeing eye dog and put a saddle, and we're never going to see Allison again. And I'm devastated. Okay.
How do you think later on Jake and Lorena are going to break up?
Dude, I don't want to talk about that. This is spoiler territory. I'm not going to tell you what I know.
Damn, Pete, you
All
got
right.
that was the most emotional reaction.
We can spoil the next episode by guessing the title, but we can't.
That's right.
Take random shots
That's
at how they're going to break up.
I won't have it. Okay, we're going to let their love flourish and be as toxic and
Maybe
natural
we'll even
as
get a
possible.
pregnancy scare.
Yeah. What is this? The Heights? Anyway, this has been Surf Dudes with Attitude. Thank you so much for listening to us. If you want to give us a shout, it's surfdudeswithattitude@gmail.com. Please like and subscribe. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and write a review. Any of your podcast catchers, okay? Guys, thanks you so much for being on this journey with us. We're going to be back next week with episode 36 called The Long Goodbye. And yeah, until next time. Still don't have a catchphrase for this, and it's not bobbing.
Ba-boom!
No.
Ooh! Yes!
We totally forgot to go over that Mark gets sexually assaulted at the end, and I'm really
Yeah,
sorry
well,
for
that was good. That was good fun for everybody.
what happened to Mark.
Yeah. Back then, that wasn't a crime, so.
Give us a smooch. We're here at Surf Dudes with Attitude. Thank you for listening.
See you, ladies and gentlemen. See you.
This has been a Waning Moon production.